Hello and welcome. You're watching D-Day India and I am Siddharth Bharadwaj. This is Express News. We give you top 100 news of the day. So let's get started. Prime Minister Narendra Modi received a phone call from the President of the French Republic, Emmanuel Macron. The leaders exchanged views on the ongoing efforts for peaceful resolution of conflicts in Ukraine and the West Asia region. PM Modi reiterated India's consistent support for peaceful resolution of the conflicts and early restoration of peace and stability. President Macron also conveyed support for early conclusion of free trade agreement between India and the EU. During his meeting with Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov on Thursday, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar said the shared goal is to maximize complementarity of India-Russia ties amid shifting economic and trade landscape, said External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar in Moscow. The leaders also jointly addressed the media. Speaking at the press conference, Jaishankar said that India and Russia have been the steadiest of the major relationships in the world after the Second World War. Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov said that Russia and India have achieved good results in energy cooperation and Moscow is interested in further joint energy projects with New Delhi. On Wednesday, Minister Jaishankar and Russia's First Deputy Prime Minister Denis Manturov attended the India-Russia Business Forum in Moscow. External Affairs Minister appreciated the assessments and reports of various sectoral leaders regarding the deeper potential of the economic ties between the two countries. He reiterated that an enduring strategic partnership must have a strong, sustainable economic component. The minister called on businesses of both sides to do more trade, contemplate more investments and joint ventures, and open new frontiers of economic cooperation. Addressing the 26th session of IRI-GC-TEC in Moscow, Minister Jaishankar stressed that India-Russia bilateral trade has grown rapidly over the last 4 years. However, highlighted the major trade imbalance that has accompanied this growth. India and the Eurasian Economic Union on Wednesday signed the terms of reference in Moscow to launch negotiations on a free trade agreement. Both sides noted the growing trade turnover between India and the EU, which stood at $69 billion in 2024, registering a 7% increase over 2023. Amid continued protest by opposition, the monsoon session of the Lok Sabha or the lower house of the Indian Parliament adjourned sine die. The government pushed through key legislations including the Indian Institutes of Management Bill, the Indian Ports Bill, the Merchant Shipping Bill and the much debated Promotion and Regulation of Online Gaming Bill, among others. In the Rajya Sabha, Home Minister Amit Shah tabled the bill related to amendment in Article 130 of the Constitution in the House and proposed to refer it to the Joint Committee of Parliament. Later, Rajya Sabha was adjourned sine die. The Upper House passed the Promotion and Regulation of Online Gaming Bill 2025. The bill was moved by Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnav for consideration and passing in the House. Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh highlighted India's benchmarks in the space sector. He also said that the space component is going to be a great value addition to the economic goals. The opposition's vice presidential candidate, Justice retired B. Doordarshan Reddy, has filed his nomination papers on Thursday. India's Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav has announced that 12,000 special trains will be operated on the occasion of Diwali and Chhath festivals. The minister further explained that passengers travelling between October 13 and 26 with return journeys between November 17 and December 1st will get confirmed tickets along with 20% discount on return fares under a new experimental scheme. India's consumer watchdog, Central Consumer Protection Authority, has ordered Rapido to pay a penalty of 1 million INR for publishing misleading advertisements and unfair trade practice. Indian equity indices ended on a strong note on Thursday. At close, the Sensex was up 143 points to close at 82,001. The Nifty at National Stock Exchange added 33 points to stand at 25,084. The Indian rupee fell 18 paise to close at 87.25 against US dollar on Thursday. Gold futures maturing on October 3rd were priced at 99,324 rupees per 10 grams on the multi-commodity exchange. Silver futures for September 5 maturity stood at 1,12,538 rupees per kilograms on the MCX. The US dollar hovered below a one-week high on Thursday, and European stock markets opened flat as investors braced for 3 days of potentially market-moving news from the Federal Reserve's annual symposium. Oil prices rose on Thursday. Brent crude futures were close to a two-week high and up 0.7% to $67 a barrel, and US West Texas Intermediate crude futures rose 0.8% to $63 a barrel. At its annual Made by Google event, tech giant Alphabet's Google introduced a fresh lineup for Pixel smartphones and gadgets, intensifying its efforts to embed artificial intelligence across a wide ecosystem of products. The event, held in New York, showcased a wide range of Pixel 10 smartphone and watch series and also introduced Pixel Snap compatible accessories including chargers, cases and stands. The European Union Trade Commissioner said that EU-US trade deals does not include the wine and spirits sector yet, adding that the door is not closed to further lower tariffs for that sector. US President Donald Trump called on Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook to resign, intensifying his efforts to gain influence over the central bank. Hungarian Foreign Minister Peter Szijjártó said that Hungary has offered to host peace talks between Russia and Ukraine twice, and the offer still stands. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky reacted to the statement and has asked Donald Trump to pressure Hungary to unblock Ukraine's negotiations with the EU. Zelensky said Kyiv expected a strong reaction from Washington if Russian President Vladimir Putin refuses a bilateral meeting. A fire broke out at an industrial site in Novoshakhtinsk, southern Russia, after a drone strike, said the acting governor of Rostov, as Ukraine intensified attacks on Russian energy infrastructure. France condemned Russian strikes in Ukraine as showing Moscow's lack of will to seriously engage in peace talks, describing the strikes as the most massive attack in a month. Explosions were seen over Gaza on Thursday, a day after Israel launched the initial stages of its operation to take over Gaza City. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres urged for an immediate ceasefire after Israel approved a plan to take Gaza City, calling new settlements an existential threat to a Palestinian state. The Israeli Prime Minister's office said on Thursday that Israeli citizen Saleh Abu Hussein, who was detained in Lebanon for about a year, returned to Israel following negotiations with the help of the Red Cross. Tensions between the US and Venezuela are rising as US is deploying 3 warships off the coast of Venezuela as part of anti-drug trafficking operations. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has denounced the US naval deployment as a threat to regional peace and a breach of international law. ASEAN observers inspected a temple on Cambodia's northern border with Thailand to assess the stability of a ceasefire between the two nations. Thailand's suspended Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra appeared in court Thursday to testify in a case seeking her removal over her handling of border dispute with Cambodia. Australian Defence Minister Richard Marles met his Malaysian counterpart Mohammad Khalid Nordin in Kuala Lumpur on Thursday to strengthen defence ties. Former Colombian President Alvaro Uribe made his first public appearance after a Bogota court overturned his house arrest in a bribery and abuse of process case. Protests break out in Buenos Aires as Argentina's lower house of Congress votes to overturn President Javier Milei's veto of a law increasing disability allowances. The overturned veto reinstates a law passed in July to improve healthcare and pension support for people with disabilities in Argentina. Brazilian police have called for former President Jair Bolsonaro and his son Eduardo to be charged with obstruction of justice for interfering in a coup-related trial. Bill Gates, chair of the Gates Foundation, met Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba on Thursday to discuss many things, also innovations in Japan. And we'll be right back after a short break. Stay tuned.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching Express News on DD India. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Let's resume. Smoke lingers over scorched land in Spain's Leon province, one of the worst hit areas by wildfires, still burning after more than a week. High winds have hindered containment efforts in Spain, where nearly 400,000 hectares have burned, setting a new national record. Spain has deployed 3,400 troops and 50 aircraft, while the Czech Republic, Finland, France, Germany and Netherlands have sent firefighters, vehicles and aircraft to aid the battle. Using thermal drones, the Spanish Guardia Civil has mapped the spread of wildfires in Cáceres, revealing the extensive damages. Hurricane Erin, churning north in the Atlantic hundreds of miles offshore, is expected to trigger a dangerous storm surge and tropical storm conditions along the US East Coast. The National Hurricane Center has warned that low-lying roads in the barrier islands could become impassable, with waves reaching up to 20 feet crashing ashore. A 4.5 magnitude earthquake struck Myanmar on Thursday, said the National Center for Seismology. The tremor occurred at a depth of 10 km. No immediate damage or injuries reported. In a likely relief for India's Mumbai city, the Meteorological Department has stated that rainfall intensity is expected to decrease from today. The IMD has predicted light to moderate rainfall with thunderstorms and lightning over Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Uttarakhand and Rajasthan for the next 7 days. Punjab is facing a flood-like situation due to persistent heavy rainfall, which has disrupted daily life and transportation across the state. The IMD has forecast light to moderate rainfall with thunderstorms and lightning across the northeastern states over the next 3 days. The India Meteorological Department has issued a red alert predicting extremely heavy rainfall in parts of Gujarat. Heavy isolated rainfall has been forecast for coastal Telangana and Andhra Pradesh along with northern interior Karnataka until August 26. The monsoon is likely to remain active over the South Peninsula and adjoining central India for the next 3 to 4 days. The Yamuna River is flowing dangerously close to the danger mark, raising concerns of flooding in low-lying areas. Zimbabwe's wildlife sanctuary near Harare is raising orphan elephant calves rescued from poaching. They will be reintroduced into the wild after a certain age. McDonald's Japan has cancelled a promotion based on the classic One Piece manga series after a similar Pokemon-themed campaign sparked a frenzy and uproar about uneaten food being discarded. A battery-powered electric train has set a new world record for the longest journey on a single charge, travelling 200 miles between Reading, London and Oxford. Promoting its cutting-edge art scene, palaces and techno clubs, Berlin has opened itself warmly to welcome tourists. This is due to increasing heatwave impacts, making European nations less favoured destinations. 25 singers from across the generations join hands to make the Made in Vietnam album to recount Vietnam's history. Rio de Janeiro's historic Santa Teresa neighborhood has burst into color as over 50 artists turn its walls into canvases during the second edition of the Urban Art Festival. Experts at the Indira Gandhi National Centre for Arts carefully pieced together rare historical documents and artifacts to rescue irreplaceable fragments that provide a unique window into New Delhi's past maps and photographs. German company Wolfgang embarks on the refurbishment of electric car batteries to support country's energy transition, which is still dependent on coal and gas. The 25th edition of Lakme Fashion Week, in partnership with the Fashion Design Council of India, will return to New Delhi from October 8 to 12 this year. Ethel Caterham, the world's oldest living person, celebrated her 116th birthday with her family in Surrey, England. Caterham earned her title as the world's oldest living person in May 2025. Popular Bollywood singer Lucky Ali has announced his upcoming India tour concert. Tour will be held under the banner of Ray Sound by Jet Alive. American actress Carrie Coon will feature in 1996 play Bug, written by her husband Tracy Letts. The play will follow a surprise and intense romance between a lonely waitress and a mysterious drifter. The Last Samurai and Blood Diamond famed filmmaker Ed Zwick will direct book adaptation of The Creed of Violence. The trailer of highly anticipated fourth season of The Morning Show is out. Series will be starring actor Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon. Netflix has announced season 5 of the hit series Emily in Paris, which will be premiering on December 18. The trailer for Raj Kundra and Geeta Basra's upcoming Punjabi film Meher has released. Love drama is directed and written by Rakesh Mehta. Hindi cinema actress Kajol's supernatural thriller Ma will premiere on Netflix this Friday, bringing the spooky drama to a wider audience. Nobody 2, an upcoming American action thriller film, is set to hit theatres this Friday. The Better Call Saul star Bob Odenkirk is playing the lead. Bollywood actress Noora Fatehi to make her Tamil cinema debut with fourth installment of the popular horror comedy franchise Kanchana. Netflix has finally unveiled the much-awaited preview for Aryan Khan's directorial debut show. Actors Laksha and Bobby Deol will take the lead. Olympian Anantjeet Singh Naruka won India's first gold medal in the skeet event at the Asian Shooting Championship in Kazakhstan. Meanwhile, Saurabh Chaudhary and Suruchi Singh won the bronze medal in the 10-meter air pistol mixed team event. Tapasya Gyalawat claimed India's first gold medal at the Under-20 World Wrestling Championships in Bulgaria. World champion D. Gukesh was held to a draw by Samuel Sevian of the United States in third round of the Sinquay Field Cup. His Indian counterpart Ramesh Babu Pragnananda shared lead with Fabiano Caruana of the United States and Livon Aronian after 2 draws in 2 days. Reigning javelin throw world champion Neeraj Chopra has opted to skip the Brussels Diamond League in Belgium on Friday. The first ever Khelo India Water Sports Festival kicks off in Kashmir's crown jewel Dal Lake on Thursday. Irani and Vavasori retained their US Open mixed doubles title, beating Iga Swiatek and Casper Ruud 6-3, 5-7, 10-6 in the final in New York. Suarez scored a penalty in each half to give Inter Miami a 2-1 victory over Tigres UANL in the League's Cup quarterfinal after Messi was ruled out. Fluminense goalkeeper Fabio overtook Englishman Peter Shilton's long-standing record for the most competitive appearances in men's soccer. Hockey India has announced the 20-member women's team for the upcoming Asia Cup scheduled to be held in China from 5th to 14th of September. South African off-spinner Prenelan Subrayan was ruled out of the second one-day international against Australia after being reported for a suspect bowling action. England confirmed the dates for a white ball tour of Sri Lanka in January and February next year that will serve as part of their preparations for the 2026 T20 World Cup. Algerian boxer and Olympic champion Khalif denied claims made by her former manager that she was putting her career on hold. Malaysia on Thursday ruled out Formula One returning to the country in near future, citing costs and already packed racing calendar. Well, that's it in this edition of Express News. News and updates will continue on DD India. You stay tuned.